everybody, it's Safi and Marco, dish out on the movies. But today, we're not doing a movie, we're doing the second episode that premiered right after the first episode of Masterchef Junior last night, which we were not aware of. And so it came on at 3 o'clock in the morning, and guess who was up at 3 o'clock in the morning? This is why I don't get much sleep. And it doesn't really have anything to do with TV watching. I just had a foot cramp, and I couldn't get it to go away, so I just watched the show.
Well, maybe if you ate some egg yolk ravioli, it would help.
I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole.
It would help you go to sleep.
I want everybody, if you want to, make a comment and tell me, do you eat egg, what do you call it, egg yolk ravioli? I wouldn't touch that. It really, yeah. I'd rather have the meat, ground meat, like ground beef mixed with whatever, or ground chicken, or even a fish. Ground fish with whatever.
Let's be honest, Safi. It looked better than the egg yolk ravioli that they made a couple of seasons ago. Remember that one?
Oh, God.
Where they all had to make like the perfect egg yolk ravioli, and then like they sent the good chefs home, and they kept that one kid there who didn't deserve to be there. I won't say that. I won't say anything more about that. But this episode was pretty good. I would say that it was better than last episode, because I thought that it was a lot more fun. And there's a lot more going on. They had to do more, and there was more expected from them. And it was just a fun episode. Like, it's funny. This is kind of one of the problems of the season, even though it's not really a problem, is that ever since Mafia Don has been gone, it feels like there's a huge weight lifted out of the kitchen. And it feels like the show is now happy, and it feels like they're all having fun, and they all like each other, and nobody's getting bullied, and so it's really kind of weird, because this is the top 5 or the top 4, and yet it feels like it's the start of the show, because they're so not stressed out. They're all having fun. They're all laughing and joking around, and none of them are taking it too seriously. And it's just funny that the whole season up to this point, 11 episodes, it felt so negative every week because of Mafia Don. And now that he's gone, it feels like they all are really happy. But it's a weird structure, isn't it, Safi?
Well, it's just because you've had this. I mean, I would actually dread to watch it.
Yeah.
Because I just couldn't stand, especially since they've had so many team challenges. And I knew every single time he gets on a team, he jeopardizes the entire team's winning. Every single time.
It's just the fact that the rest of the season should be when it's fun, and then as it gets closer and closer to the finale should be when it gets really intense.
Yeah.
And stressful. But instead, it has had the opposite structure, where you've had 11 episodes of stress and negativity, and then you now have 1, 2, 3, 4 episodes of positivity. So it's very strange.
I guess I'll just take it when I can, but it's never been like this before. I don't remember it being like this, where one person has been allowed to.
Well, I would say that one season with you know who. You know.
I don't.
The guy who went to the finale. You know, the guy with the brown sugar and water, maple syrup.
Yeah, but he wasn't bossing people around and
But he wasn't deserving of being in the finale, though.
Yeah, and
he got all the way to the finale.
That was the problem with this person, that he Mafia Don, whatever, he would get into everybody else's face, even the other team's faces. And it's just so odd. I've never seen a child so full of himself. I mean, a child. I mean, maybe you have a teenager and they go through their teenagehood, whatever, but this was a kid. And just thinking he knows everything, knows more than even Chef Ramsay, even said it. And anyway, let's just get off it. But I'm just.
Well, I was just talking about the season as a whole.
Yeah. Well, there are these kids, these 4 remaining contestants, are respectful of each other. They like each other. They're if one of them has to go, no matter who, they're all upset.
They could basically all open up a restaurant together. Because they like each other so much.
Yeah, and do whatever they do. And probably get it all planned out perfectly and who knows what. But anyway, it's pleasant. And it's happy and fun. And that's what it should be.
Yeah.
That's what reality TV shouldn't be mean and hateful.
It should be at certain points, though, because you can have someone who's a good villain.
Yeah, but it's just nice to see people being respectful of each other and not because they have to, because they feel that they do respect the other people.
Yeah.
That's what I like. But anyway, well, the first part of the episode, which to me, I think it took longer than the last part.
I think it was like 30 minutes, and then the second part was 15.
Maybe, because you have to factor in all the commercials.
I didn't have any commercials. I watched the polished edit.
Well, when we watched the first episode.
But we're talking about this episode.
I know that, but if you compare and everything. But anyway, it was about, you had these 4, and I kind of wonder how they happened to pick these 4. Did they volunteer for it? Like, did they get a list of people who said, oh yeah, sure, I'd like to be on this show, and they told them what it was exactly, which I don't know, they seemed like they knew exactly what they were going to do. And so you had 2 men and 2 women. And one of them, the man, actually had his wife, and they kind of are a tag team all the time or something. She had to go up in the balcony, and she watched while he competed. And so the chefs picked the wrestler to go with a specific kid. So the kids didn't have anything to do with picking. They picked for them. And then they each had to make, how many appetizers? 5 appetizers, which is a lot. And they weren't simple little, in fact, they really must have edited out a lot.
It was a scary challenge, because they've done that before. Like, remember in season 5 where they did that?
Yeah.
Where they had to make like a whole oh wait, no, that was sushi. They made like a whole sushi platter.
Is not easy to do when you have never made it. All the utensils and things, I've seen it made several times with this Japanese girl on YouTube.
Oh, I bet you have.
And there's all kinds of utensils and things. And
I bet there are.
And if you've never done that before, that is scary. But these were like regular. Of course, I'm trying to think of what they had. I don't know if I've had any of those
had
appetizers.
Some chicken lollipops.
Yeah, I've never had that.
Some sort of lobster popovers.
Yeah, there was some popovers, and I never did hear what was in the popover.
They all looked good. Like, I would have eaten all of those appetizers. They looked pretty good.
Yeah.
They looked a lot better than some of the dishes that they had made throughout the season.
Yeah. And they actually looked like there was cooking involved, and there were multi-ingredients. And you said 5, right?
Good portions, too. Good portions.
That's a lot of, and so it was a tag team. So they've done this on previous episodes where one person has a certain amount of time, and then the time's up, and they have to tag the other person who's waiting, and they come and they tell them what there is to do now, because they've done the the other part, and it's like that all the way until the end. And so they at the end they all had these 5 appetizers all ready, and then they go up, and then the judges would look at them to see if they looked good and like what they were supposed to look like, and if they tasted like they were supposed to taste like. So, you want to talk about that, Marco, at all? Any more about
I thought it was a very fun challenge, and I thought it was definitely the best part of the episode. It was a lot of fun the way that you had these wrestlers and the kids had to tell them what to do, and they were very amenable, and they weren't mean like Mafia Don.
They worked well
And
with children.
you also have to say this: you're really glad that Mafia Don isn't there, because I guarantee the wrestlers wouldn't have liked him. Like, he would have been like really mean to them, and it wouldn't have been good. It would have been really negative.
And I can imagine what that's what they're all about anyway. I know it's a lot of a stage presentation, but I'm sure some of it gets into the reality, or they just get really sick of who they're fighting.
I liked all the wrestlers. I thought they were all pretty cool.
And they were all very nice, except now one, the African American girl, she must have had some kind of contacts on.
Yeah, she had red contacts,
And
which
she
was
looked
pretty
like,
funny.
looked at her like, oh my God, you're looking at the devil, a devil woman.
Well,
And I
that's
thought that must be
wrestling,
for
Safi.
wrestling.
That's wrestling.
Like, ooh, and you know, I mean, when they're fighting, even though it's fake, it's still, ooh, oh God, I've never seen that before. I guess I have if I've watched a horror movie and somebody had red eyes. They're actually wearing red contacts, but these were very nicely made, and they really made her eye.
It's expected,
Eyes
Safi.
look
There's
good.
tons of stuff like that in wrestling.
Well,
Don't
look cool.
don't be such a noob.
I don't care.
Well, she was cool.
She was cool. She was very, very nice. They were all very affable, like you said.
The Miz was probably the best because he took it extremely seriously. Like he was going extremely fast because he got paired up with my fair Masterchef Junior.
The little
And-
girl.
he,
He hit her in the face accidentally with the, what was it, a cookie sheet?
he took a cookie sheet and he just went like BAM and just hit her right in the nose, and she was like, "Oh!"
And it was very brief. I mean, they probably cut off as much as they could so it wouldn't look as bad as it probably
That
looked.
was hilarious.
And I was like, what did I just see? Because she instantly put her hands to her face.
It was like a typical wrestling move, though, like where,
I know.
they pick up a chair or they pick up a ladder and then they just go like, boom! And she was...
I think he forgot where he was for a moment. And she's just a tiny little girl with her little pearls on, her leather patent shoes.
That was the best part of the episode, was when he went like, BAM!
It was very lucky that nothing worse happened than her getting, we think, and her knocked in the face just barely. It was accidental. We're not saying anything nefarious happened. It
was an accident, but it was
It
hilarious.
was an accident.
It was hilarious. I mean, she has had like some of the funniest moments the whole season, like in the first 2 episodes where she couldn't stop crying, and now where he just goes like BAM right in the nose.
And she smiled and laughed and was a little bit taken aback, but she didn't get upset, mad, anything. She just laughed and just moved along. That's what she does when she's competing.
She's like a robot. She was like she nothing really bothers her.
No.
It's very it's weird. It's like she's possessed by the spirit of a great chef or something. Like
Yeah.
she's just, or like she is a robot. Like she's a robot who's programmed to cook perfectly at all times.
Yeah, and I believe, I don't think this is what she really wants to do with her life.
Yes, she does, Safi.
No, I think she wants to be a fashion
Safi,
designer.
stop telling her what to do.
I'm not telling anybody
Don't
what
don't
to do.
don't tell no woman what to do.
Oh, please.
Stop being such a misogynistic.
Oh, please.
And so, anyways,
She
the
did
worst.
A good job.
Safi.
Go ahead.
The worst one was probably Molly and Dolph, and the reason why was because of a lot of mistakes that he made, and it was sad because she had a double. It was the same thing like with last episode where Ava had a double whammy of trash, and in this episode Molly had a double gummy worm Molly. She had a double whammy of trash, and it really wasn't that bad though. Like as bad as it could have been with her, like as bad as some of the mistakes other people have made the rest of the season. Her mistakes paled in comparison to all those. So she really was top 4 material, and everyone pretty much did a good job. And of course, Leah won. And we found out that this was even more hilarious. We found out that her parents own a restaurant. And so it's already bad enough the fact that with the last episode where she had the advantage of filleting all those fish, but her parents are restaurant owners, and so like she's like the clear front runner in this competition, I think, because of all these advantages that she has.
Yeah, well, so is Molly. Molly they both have a ton of experience.
Yeah, she did. She kind of, but
Leah probably was in the kitchen like, whoever it was, that other person in that other show.
the other
From the
person
day
on the other
the
show,
little girl who said she'd been, the little girl
Sarah.
who was bullied.
Sarah,
And
yeah,
and
the
left.
one who was bullied by Troy off the show.
Right. Leah had been in the kitchen probably since she was born, and so, and watching, helping, probably works there like for an after-school job, or well, she's too young for that. But I mean, we know somebody like that. Their parents have a Chinese restaurant, and they work there.
So in the second half of the episode, Safi, stop it. In the second half of the episode, they had to do this really queer challenge, and it was definitely, in my opinion, the worst part of the episode because
like it at all.
It was not worthy of being an elimination challenge at all. It was like a first half challenge. It was not an elimination challenge, where they had to follow along with Gordon while he made a egg yolk ravioli dish, which, ooh, like I would never, ever, ever, ever eat egg yolk ravioli ever.
I wouldn't make it, and I wouldn't order it.
It's like every single season now they're obsessed with this egg yolk ravioli.
Well, we can name all the things he's obsessed with. Beef Wellington's one.
Safi, he created the beef Wellington, so he should be obsessed with it.
He created? That's been around for a million
Safi,
years, before he's born.
Safi, he created the beef Wellington.
I don't believe it.
Safi.
I don't believe it. I bet that beef Wellington's been around way before he was even born. He may have his own version of it. But anyway, he's obsessed with these specific, he likes risotto, beef Wellington.
Scallops.
We haven't seen the scallops. The scallops, that's one. He hasn't done this season, I don't think.
I think maybe he did in like team challenges, like, because every episode's been a fucking team challenge.
Yeah, it's hard to remember because you just wanted to forget them.
Yeah.
But he has these specific things every single show.
And it was sad that it was a disservice to the other judges. You know, you had Aaron, a.k.a. Gordon's bitch, and then you had Daphne, I don't know what to call her, Safi. Why don't you...
She's a pregnant woman.
Well, I don't know, she kind of looks a little bit like Big Bird.
Well, she's just, she looks like she's about ready to give birth.
So you have Big Bird and Gordon's bitch, and they just stand on the sidelines.
Just they don't get their dishes featured where they they're copying their dish and they have to follow along.
It's just like all about Gordon and his shitty egg yolk ravioli, and I thought like, this is stupid. Like this is just another Ramsay ego boost challenge.
There's a thing about eggs too. I just remember he likes those soft-boiled eggs.
But that was a good challenge. That was a good challenge because it related to the first half where they did a chicken thing.
Yeah,
I mean the second challenge.
So chicken and the egg.
They did chicken and egg, and I thought that was a good episode.
And then the other, no, he didn't do that this year, and it probably won't come up because they're getting ready to do the finals. But what is it, scrambled eggs, where he puts all this milk in it.
The creme fraiche.
God.
Creme fraiche.
Oh God, it's so gross. And I remember when they did that. It was with the last season, I think, of the kids. This kid said, "We don't eat our eggs like this," and I think most of the kids agreed with them. This was right on camera, and nobody ew. Ugh. So anyway, at least he's got a thing about eggs. That's all I have to say.
So the challenge was terrible. I mean, it was a good challenge in terms of it could have been a good first half challenge where someone wins an advantage. But to make it an elimination challenge, I really thought was stupid. They should have been able to make a dish themselves. Or he could have still had the egg yolk ravioli thing. But then he's like, okay, now you guys go and make your own ravioli.
Yeah.
And make your own themed ravioli. And it can be a dessert ravioli, it can be any ravioli you want, a bacon ravioli, scallop ravioli.
But I don't think they have the time.
A spaghetti ravioli. Well, I think also what they should have done was they should have had the first half of the episode be the egg yolk challenge. And then the second half of the episode is the wrestling. Because that fucking wrestling challenge, they had to make 5 dishes.
Yeah.
5 dishes in an hour.
Do you know what I don't think Marco mentioned this. Do you know what the reward was? It wasn't being exempt from being cast out.
It was tickets to WrestleMania.
Yeah, oh boy. But two of the kids, Leah and Molly, its family, have been interested in that, like watched it on TV or actually gone to an event. So they really liked it. The other two, I don't think they've ever seen that in their lives.
Well, my fair Masterchef Junior, she probably just watches My Little Pony.
Yeah, or Paw Patrol.
No, Safi.
I don't know though. She, Barbie.
Wishbone.
Bratz dolls or whatever.
Wishbone. Hannah Montana.
Well, no, they're too young for that. That's all
Really?
gone. Yeah, that's all gone.
Dora the Explorer.
That's all gone.
Arthur. Before it turned gay. I don't know. Power Puffs.
That's all gone.
Cream Puffs.
That's all when you grew up.
Whoops.
They have all new stuff, Bluey and
back
all
when
this
they
stuff.
made actual good shows with actual talented people making them. Yeah, I know.
I'm getting more familiar with this stuff because I've been selling plushies, so I've seen all the stuff I've never heard of before, and I know what's popular, although I can't recognize some of the stuff I'm still learning, but anyway.
So anyways, I thought that it was a good episode. I liked it overall because it was fun.
Yeah.
And nobody was really that upset except for they all made a mistake at least. Like, they all made at least one mistake.
Right.
And first off, you had Grayson. His mistake was barely noticeable. And then my fair Masterchef Junior, she didn't have enough sauce or something. She made some sort of mistake that was minor. like her because she's a minor.
But it was
And then
her. She always comes through.
it's bizarre with her. It's like see, I told you guys this is what it would have been like with Sarah if she wasn't bullied off the show by Troy.
Yeah.
It just shows.
Person didn't even care about cooking.
Yeah.
Just wants to be an actor.
And then you had Leah, and honestly, I would have sent Leah home, or I would have thought about it because
I think they did think about it.
they did.
Because he said it's going to be a shock to everybody. And I don't think it was a shock with Molly. I think he was thinking about Leah when he said that. And I think he changed his mind at the last minute.
I know. I think that those other people changed his mind. So, because you had Leah, and she was, and this is the problem that she's had, is that in the same way with Molly, Gummy Worm Molly, which Gummy Worm Molly, she was really off her game today because you could tell she was going to be off her game because she had an avocado headband on instead of a gummy worm headband. And so I really think that she should have put on her gummy worm headband for good luck because she needed the gummy worm look today. And but Leah, in the same way that Molly is too grill focused, she's too barbecue food, Midwest, what is it, Midwest?
Yeah.
Midwest food focused. In the same way that she's too focused on that and she can't really branch out a lot.
But she's tried, though.
Yeah, she's done it, and she would have been able to do it more if she would have been able to stay. But in the same way that it happened with her, it's the same way that Leah is too Asian food focused.
Yeah.
And you see this with basically every Asian chef that they have on these Masterchef shows.
Yeah.
Where like they're very, they're like Asian food is like their cudgel, and they can't really make anything else without struggling. And especially with this, where she said, she even admitted that she treated making this egg yolk ravioli like she was making dumplings.
That's totally different technique.
And it's different cultures and different cuisines. And so the fact that she didn't go home, it was very shocking because at least Gummy Worm Molly was following Gordon. At least she was following that recipe and following the technique that he was doing. She made mistakes, but she was following his technique. Leah was thinking about Asian food. And this was not the time to be thinking about that at all. So the fact that in her dough, it was so thick that it was, I guess, what you call gummy.
Mm-hmm.
And then with Gummy Worm Molly, her plating looked terrible.
Well, she didn't have enough time.
Yeah.
She ran out of time. She kind of slowed down. And because after he was done, I told you they had to follow him beat for beat. But if they were behind at all, they only had 1 minute to finish up everything and have it ready after he was completely done.
Her plating was bad, and her dough was slightly raw. It was undercooked. I couldn't really tell though, because they all looked the same. All the fucking raviolis, they looked the same because they all looked just so gross. And so Gummy Worm Molly went home, and she wasn't too upset about it, which was nice.
She was very gracious.
She was happy, even though, they clearly had a bias towards letting Leah stay. Like, it's clear, and that's what's unfortunate, is that it's clear that there are certain chefs like her and Grayson where the judges have like a bias for them, and so they'll keep them there even though they make bigger mistakes than the other chefs, and they just get like a pass because they have more potential in the judges' eyes, and I think that that's unfortunate. Safi, what would you rate the episode?
I'll give it an A minus again.
Okay.
I give it an A, but I can't stand that egg crap ravioli. I wish they'd stop making it, because I'm sitting here, I'm trying to figure out things for myself to eat, everything, every sweet, every snack, every entree. Nothing much appeals to me, and I've lost weight as a result, which I got in trouble for at the doctor. And the thing is, I just, even if I didn't take the stupid medication, affected my taste, I wouldn't touch that egg crap ravioli. It just looks gross. I don't know, why would you want to eat that? I mean, regular ravioli with spaghetti sauce.
It really has to do with the way that Gordon was raised, because remember, he said he has a soft-boiled egg every day.
Yeah, like my
and
dad.
So
my dad had that.
What is in an egg yolk ravioli? The egg yolk. Just like with soft-boiled eggs. So, I would rate the episode a B+, because I can't give it an A. I didn't like the second challenge being that particular challenge. It should have been a first half challenge.
But why didn't you want that? If they had a better recipe, would you have? You think you would have liked it better?
No, because it was like a first half challenge.
Oh.
Where they follow along with Gordon. They all try to make that dish with him. It was not an elimination challenge. When I think of elimination challenge, I think of them going off by themselves and doing their own thing. Because in the first half of the episode, they had to do the thing with the wrestlers. And so in the second half, they should just be able to go off and do their own thing themselves. Right, Safi?
Yeah.
So
everybody, if you like this video, please press the like button and subscribe to our channel, because we enjoy having new subscribers. We welcome your comments. I'd like to know if you all have anybody out there ever eaten that egg yolk ravioli. If you haven't had it, would you want to have it? If Gordon Ramsay cooked it personally for you, would you eat it? And or would you just eat it in general? Or and what do you think about the wrestlers being there, and just anything else you want to talk about in terms of food and the show and cooking? So that's it.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.